Okay, hello everyone and welcome to today's webinar, First Class Travel Experiences and How Royal Caribbean Uses Magnolia CMS. Thanks for joining us. My name is Ben Price, Marketing Manager here at Magnolia. And before I introduce today's guest presenter, I'm just going to give you a super quick overview of what we'll be covering in this webinar. Everybody is muted, but please don't let that stop you asking questions. Using the GoToWebinar control panel, you can submit questions throughout the webinar, so please do so, and we'll do our best to answer as many as possible at the end of the webinar. 1 or 2 days after the webinar, we'll be posting a recording of the videos of this webinar. So yes, we will record it, and we will send an email to everybody with links to the slide deck and video of this webinar. You will also be able to contact me directly or my guest speaker, who I'll introduce very shortly. The webinar today will last around 45 minutes. And in today's presentation, I'm really happy to have Davide Guzzetti from Magnolia's certified partner TINEXT'S, and he is going to take you through their implementation for Royal Caribbean and how they were given just 2 weeks' notice to implement this whole new campaign, and how in just 3 days they were able, 3 days of development, they were able to deliver the campaign on time and on budget. So it's really a fantastic case to have a look at. So on that note, I would like to introduce Davide. Welcome, and over to you.
Thank you, Ben, and hello everybody. Thank you for being here today. My name is Davide, and I currently cover the role of Head of Corporate Development at TINEXT'S. I've been with TINEXT'S since 5 years now, formerly with the role of Project Manager, and in this role, I had the chance to lead many Magnolia CMS implementations for several clients across Europe and the Middle East. And of course, Royal Caribbean still is one of the clients. Well, this webinar will be pretty short. After a brief introduction about my company and the client, this presentation will focus more on how Royal Caribbean is currently benefiting of its CMS platform powered by Magnolia. And in particular, we will analyze a concrete example of a campaign that was carried out in May last year. And this campaign was about the promotion of the ship Oasis of the Seas in the Mediterranean Sea. After the presentation, as Ben already mentioned, there will be plenty of time for questions, of course. So to start with, allow me to say a few words about TINEXT'S. It'll be very short. TINEXT'S basically is a service company active in the field of marketing, systems integration, and cloud services. In particular, we focus on CMS implementations and all what is basically behind the simple installation of a software. At TINEXT'S, we work with clients from the definitions of the requirements, business process analysis, to information architecture, user experience, and design. Of course, we do also the systems integration core, the front-end development, customization of the system, and the integration of the CMS with incumbent systems of the client. For selected clients, we also take care of the application management as we operate our own data center in Switzerland. So we take care of the managed cloud service for them, so that clients can benefit of the full offering around the CMS. What we work with is Royal Caribbean International. For those who are unaware of this prominent brand, well, Royal Caribbean is the second largest cruise line operator. And on top of Royal Caribbean, the company runs also other 4 brands, namely Celebrity Cruises, Azamara Cruises, Pullmantur, and Croisière de France. Royal Caribbean has 17% of the worldwide cruise market share and operates also, and that's important for the campaign that I will be describing later on in the webinar. Royal Caribbean operates the world's largest cruise ship, which is Allure of the Seas, of the Oasis class. Briefly about their strategy and their digital strategy, in 2009, Royal Caribbean International adopted a delocalization strategy for their markets, and they wanted to empower each country to promote and advertise for cruises in its own market. Royal Caribbean has been TINEXT'S client since then, in 2009, and at that time we started working with Royal Caribbean on a specific microsite for a specific campaign for promoting cruises within the Mediterranean Sea. Since the marketing team of the Italian office was so in love with the flexibility of and with the opportunities that they had having a CMS which allowed them to create campaigns so quickly and to promote their campaigns with a really short time to market. Well, since then they are still using the system, and in particular in 2011 the whole Italian website of Royal Caribbean was launched on a Magnolia infrastructure, and eventually it was followed by other brands, Celebrity Cruises, and also by other countries like France. In this slide, you can see the Magnolia infrastructure at a glance. It doesn't pretend to be a technical slide, but it gives you a flavor of the current Magnolia CMS infrastructure of Royal Caribbean. Today, we have on this infrastructure two corporate websites for Royal Caribbean, France, and Italy, each one with its own booking engine. They have two different booking engines and a mobile version. All the digital touch points on the website to the company's central CRM in a project carried out in 2012, which is the CRM is in Miami and runs on Siebel Marketing. Additionally, in 2015, TINEXT'S developed also a trade portal for the Italian market, which connects all the 12,000 travel agencies all over Italy. You have to think about how important are the travel agencies in this world, specifically in the cruise market. Given the amount of money which is spent on a cruise, it's not something that you can easily buy online. Of course, you can buy online, but these cruises can cost up to 5,000 or 6,000, especially if you travel with multiple people. So it's not easy to have enough allowances on the credit card for purchasing directly. So especially in Italy, revenues coming from travel agencies are still much higher than those coming from direct sales. So to recap, what we have for Royal Caribbean Italy, well, Royal Caribbean Italy runs on Magnolia now its website with the mobile version, the booking engine, the trade portal, everything powered by Magnolia. For this webinar, of course, we had to pick a very small and specific project, so we decided to focus on a specific campaign that was done for Royal Caribbean Italy. The campaign was conceived in May 2014 when TINEXT was involved by the marketing team of Royal Caribbean to figure out a possible marketing campaign for promoting the arrival of the Oasis of the Sea, the world's largest cruise ship, in the Mediterranean Sea. So the first cruise of this ship in the Mediterranean. As usually happens in marketing, they had a very tight time constraint, and they were aiming to a low budget though high impact campaign. The objective of this campaign was to create awareness around the event or around the arrival of this ship in the Mediterranean, to collect, of course, data about potential prospects, and also to keep travel agencies involved with this project. The decision then, has had to be made. We had only 2 weeks notice for this project, and we had to come up with a solution, with an effective solution, and a solution that impacted as minimum as possible in terms of days of development and in terms of also effort required by Royal Caribbean marketing team. So it was decided to leverage the existing Magnolia infrastructure and all the features already developed for the website. In this way, we were able to create in a short amount of time an effective marketing campaign, and now I will show you how. But let me talk a bit about the campaign first. The campaign was an online contest for winning a cruise for 2 people in the Mediterranean Sea on Allure of the Seas. Contest consisted in answering 6 questions about the features of the ship. And of course, running on a low budget, the campaign was only promoted through organic posts over social network, mainly Facebook, and there was no advertising budget and no pay-per-click budget. So the campaign was not sustained by paid traffic. Quite interestingly, leveraging on the features that we already had developed within the CMS, we were able to deliver the solution and this content in only 1 week and with only 3 days of development. But let's see how the content works. So first step, contestants can log in through Facebook to start the contest. Of course, a mobile version of the contest is also available on phones. Then contestants are asked 6 questions on curiosities about the ship. There are no answering wrong a question doesn't stop you to answer the following question. Really, the contestant could answer as many times as they wanted to the same question until they eventually find the correct one. After each question, a tip is prompted, and these tips can be shared on the social networks. Quiz results are published on Facebook automatically from the CMS, and inviting so friends to take part in the contest. And that's the way we were able, so through this viral effect, that's the way we were able to gain leads and more contestants participating in the contest. After the contest, all the data are sent back to the central CRM in Miami. And eventually, qualified data become leads. These leads are collected, segmented, and sent back to the travel agencies and made available to the travel agent portal available for a newslettering campaign, for example, or for direct contact. So we said time frame, very budget. How were we able to do this? Well, first of all, we leveraged on one of the most important features of Magnolia CMS, which is a templating kit. Through Magnolia templating kit, it's possible to create templates and components that can be reused. And also create new pages very easily and quickly directly within the CMS based on previous and already existing templates. These templates can also be extended to add additional features, for example, that are needed for specific purposes. Another thing we did during the project was connecting contest and the forums with Siebel CRM, and we did this through web services. Of course, to post on Facebook, we needed a Facebook custom app, and we needed this app to allow Magnolia to post on Facebook on people's behalf. Every page of contest was tracked with Omniture and Google Analytics tracking codes. I already told you about the Magnolia templating kit. With the Magnolia templating kit, it's easy to define templates and components for site sections and specific functions. It is an out-of-the-box feature which comes with Magnolia. The box comes also. There come also some templates and components which are pre-configured. Usually, what happens is that for each and every website, you have own components and templates delivered to you by a service company like TINEXT'S working with Magnolia. These templates can be reused throughout the website or even additional functionalities. Let me show you how. For example, this is the navigation tree of this contest. As you can see in the registration form, we are using a contest form template. Basically, this contest form template extends a generic form which is already used in the website. From this screen, you can see the form which is used on Royal Caribbean website. This is a contact us form to be used to be contacted back by Royal Caribbean call center. And this is instead the form for subscribing to the contest. Creating a page for subscribing to the contest was as easy as copy-pasting the same form. But then, of course, you needed more fields and you needed more functions. Well, as for fields, Magnolia comes with the form builder feature. And the form builder feature allows you to add, edit, or create new fields for your forms, even in multiple steps. But changing the fields is not enough. We needed something more, a connection with the CRM, and we needed a connection with Facebook. How to do this? Pretty simple. Well, creating the form, as you can see from this slide, is something that a webmaster can do. Now, connecting the form to the CRM and connecting the form to Facebook is something instead that is more technical. So I'm sorry about going a bit more technical, and the marketing and business, the more marketing business oriented audience would excuse me for doing this. I'll try to keep it as simple as possible. From this slide here, you can see that in the paragraph of the form, we added an additional class. And specifically, this Java class sends data to the CRM. This is how it is done. The form comes already with its own processor, like CAPTCHA, send contact email, and track email, but we added registration create class. And this is the class that sends, this is the piece of code that sends data to the CRM. As you can see, very few lines of code. The same thing has been done for the login feature. We are in the paragraph definitions still. We added under the form processors a processor called user login, which is another class. And this class basically allows you to log in with Facebook. Posting on Facebook is another feature. This time it comes with a custom JavaScript that has been added to the template definition of the login template. So if you see here, the contest has been enriched with this new JavaScript feature here that calls Facebook APIs to post on the contestant's behalf. That's basically how it works. And as you can see here, it's very few lines of code. For the tracking, well, tracking codes can be added to each and every page. In this slide, I'm showing you just the main Google Analytics tracking code, which is added in the configuration field. Royal Caribbean is still running on an older version of Magnolia. To one single page or to the full website, it will be a task that can be done also by the marketing team through the TINEXT'S app, which is here in the tools available to webmasters or super users. Adding tags would entail only copy pasting the tag and select where to put the tag, header, footer, before the closure of the body or in other parts of the page. And you can select single pages or the full website or even only some sections. To wrap this up, we had a 2 weeks notice to come up with and actually deliver an idea for a contest, for a marketing campaign with a very low budget, with not sustained by any advertising budget, and we were able to conceive the contest and deliver the campaign in 1 week. Days of this week was a development effort, so with only 3 days of development effort, but also the effort for the editorial team of Royal Caribbean marketing team was extremely low, because they just had to come up with 6 questions to be posed in the quiz, basically. And now some key results. The campaign was live for 3 months. We reached 20,000 registrations. Of course, it was running only in Italy. We reached 20,000 registrations, which means almost 7,000 registrations every month. We had quite interesting rate, which is 12%. If you compare the accesses to the website and the completion of the contest. 30% of the registrations were coming from mobile. Interestingly, this data is still a bit low. But another interesting data is the bounce rate, which is on 32%. Bounce rate of 32% in a campaign in which there is, as a prize, a cruise. It's a free contest with no skills required. Well, it's quite interesting, interesting data. I hope I gave you a nice overview of this project and what you can do with Magnolia CMS in place in your digital. And I am now fully available for your questions. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Davide, for that short but very to the point presentation. I think that's a great case study of a common use case, short deadlines or short time to deliver the project. That's not unusual to anybody who I'm sure is listening to this. Okay, so now is a good time to send through any questions you may have. I have a couple here for you, Davide, already. And the first one is, I guess it's about this time frame that you mentioned a few times. So can you reiterate how you delivered this so fast and with just 3 days of development time?
Yes, basically we used templates and components that were already developed for other parts or sections of the website, and we just extended with the features that were needed. That was allowed by Magnolia templating kit, basically. And I want to be here very clear, the development days were 3, but of course on top of project management you have meetings with the client and all this stuff. So that's why in the end we ended up more or less in a 2 weeks time frame with something, a solution for the client. Yes.
Okay, great. Next question here. So you mentioned that this was a previous version. The question is, do you plan to migrate this to Magnolia 5?
At the moment, the platform, the infrastructure that runs Magnolia is shared between the Italian and the French office. There are plans to migrate to Magnolia 5 because it comes with amazing feature for marketing. I'm thinking here of personalization, for example, which is something that they really. But so far, given that the decision it's not really, it doesn't involve only one stakeholder, it's taking more time than expected. But eventually, they will migrate to Magnolia 5. Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, then I would say that about wraps it up for today's webinar. If you do, anybody in the audience, if you do have questions or would like to speak further about this case study or ask questions or go in a bit more detail on any element, because I know we try to cover a bit of marketing aspect and a bit of development side as well. If you do have questions, you will be followed up with by email, so please feel free to contact either of us about this this case study, and same if you have questions about Magnolia 5 as well. We are here to help. Thanks for your time. Thank you, Davide, and yeah, we hope this session was helpful for you. Thank you again, and we hope to see you on the next webinar.